This is Street Topics, where we keep it raw and unfiltered. We talk about the topics that you are afraid to, but we are not. You got myself, Jasim, and then of course the one and only Donald Baker. He may make you mad or he may have you laughing. It's depending on how the mood you feel. Regardless, we're going to keep it true, get the facts, and keep it controversial. Are you ready for this episode of Street Topics? Stay tuned, y'all.
What up? It's another episode of Street Topics. We are here live and in action where we talk about the topics that you are afraid of, but we're not at all. We're going to keep it raw, keep it going. It's Yo C Holmes as always, and I gotta come with the sergeant, Billy throwing grenades. He's coming from the trenches. I'm talking about the one and only Josh.
What's going on, brother? What's going on? It's great to be here, man.
I am happy. It's great to be here, man.
Well, you got a hot topic tonight for us to be talking about, to be real and raw. I don't know if you want to be raw.
I was trying to drag Baker, but he may be clapping something.
Oh, he might be recovering from the holidays, from the Labor Day holiday,
Recovering from the Labor Day holiday? Ah, man. I don't want to hear that, man. He all right. Talking about he trying to recover from the holiday. What kind of boots and sheets he been getting into, man? Let me bring down this music, man. Hey, no, we ain't gonna lie to that, man. That's Uncle Ruckus over there. Uncle Ruckus, he should be live in that fine, ready to go, because he always like to talk his mess. Man,
Well, that is true. He love to talk that mess, brother. I have to agree with you on that part.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But let's go ahead and hit before I throw any clips or anything like this. What's the first thing that came to mind when I told you about this topic?
It really kind of threw me off on this topic when you sent it to me about men accepting disrespect for wanting a family. I really, be honest with you, I didn't know what direction this was going to go in, because you can go in all type of directions with just that, and because it's so broad. So
yeah, you definitely can.
So I really didn't know what kind of direction per se until you kind of gave me a little bit of insight,
a little bit of a description.
Yeah, and even that, in a sense, can go in different directions as well. So I'm just gonna roll with this, man, because I'm just gonna follow your lead on this right here, bro, because it's really interesting.
It really is, and it's one of those things that we hear all the time, like in family settings, the barbershop, and much more. But it seems like we just softly touch on it when nobody wants to really dive into the details of things.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's true.
I'm gonna start off with this video, kind of give you a direction where I'm going with it. So let me get that ready.
All right.
You have some individuals out there that'll say arguing is normal, it's healthy. And to me, it's like, listen, if we're talking about arguing where we're now crossing disrespectful lines, negative lines, that's not healthy. Yes, it may happen. You should be prepared for that. But let's not normalize it and say we're just gonna keep doing this, and it is what it is. We have to be ready for those moments. You have some individuals out there.
He said,
Okay. All right. I got an idea of what direction that you are trying to, or the direction that this topic is trying to.
So what's the idea? And then I can bounce off it, because of course I know where I want to go with this, but
what do you want to go? Just be straight up. No, I just want to know where you want to go, so I know what direction that I'm gonna be going. So I don't.
We're talking about how man who wants a loving family, but wants to, as depending on the viewer point or perspective, to accomplish this. Well, if they follow the Christian values of building a family and being a strength and having a wife by his side to grow a family, but it seems like we're in a time periods where if a man wants that, he has to accept or tolerate disrespect just to get a family, like he loses part of himself.
Well, when you're looking at it in that sense, it's not any different if you're losing yourself. If you and you brought this out, you open up the door. If you saying that you're a Christian, Scripture already says you got to lose yourself. You got to die daily.
Right.
So when you're in a relationship, part of you is gonna have to die anyway.
And I understand that for growth, but I'm not talking about growth.
But at the same time, that growth also reflects in how you handle certain situations. You
Carry on.
know, and even before you a person get into a marriage, most people don't pay attention to the signs before they get into the marriage.
And what would those be?
And the signs can be, pay attention to the dynamics in regards to how the individual's families interact with each other. You know, there's an old school list, and then it's kind of funny, and I use my wife, but this is more the physical side of the house. Like when I met my wife, the first thing I wanted to do, and I was looking forward to, is meeting the mother because I want to see how the mother is as a reflection of how the daughter is, because it gives you an inside scoop on how that individual has been raised, how the individual thinks, how the individual look at themselves and look at others. Is the individual has empathy or compassion, or is the individual manipulative or conniving or a narcissist? All of this is what people and men ignore. What they focus on is the body only, and they attract themselves to that, and they don't pay attention to what's on the inside after or during. So, with this topic, my first question is this: is it really the disrespect coming from the women, or are we disrespecting ourselves because we're not knowing ourselves and not paying attention to who we messing with, who are is or is not on the same level as us, on the same level, or are they on a different level that is different from night and day? The way you were brought up, the way you think, and how you was taught, how you was treated. Because you have some toxic people that come from a toxic family bring that toxic into a relationship.
Oh yeah, they
So if you
definitely
see
do.
that and you still hook up with that and then have a family and then have the kids, now is it really whose fault really is it?
And I see where you're going with that, and I agree with that. But I think there's more pieces to the puzzle
Okay.
because you have culture, and then on top of that, media, mainstream. You have generations of trauma,
Mhm.
and then hurt, and then images or of how men have been basically emasculated to be seen as weak and not as providers. And we can go back into slavery much more. And it seems like now we have this struggle or we're battling to give respect to a man. It's like the moment that he makes a mistake. Now, I'm not downplaying anything you're saying. I agree with that. But there's more of a culture or trend, and I can just speak from American reference. I can't speak for other countries, where it seems like it's okay to disrespect a man, and he's supposed to accept that if he wants the family. So when I say he loses himself, I'm not talking about for good or growth. I'm talking about tolerating to be accepted or validated as a man to have a family.
Okay, but that's still relating to growth
How so?
because if
Let's
you
talk.
know, okay, if you know thyself, right?
I said,
Truly
let's
know
talk.
yourself. If you really know yourself, right? Then a real man would not allow anything or anyone to disrespect.
True.
I understand what you said about the culture, but even the culture has forgotten where we came from to know where we need to go.
So we should
So,
just throw
any
out our culture then?
no, listen to what I said. We have forgotten where we came from to know where we need to
Oh,
And they say nothing.
I'm not downplaying that, but I'm saying like the culture of the set mindset now. Should we toss that out? Because if we go back to our roots, it was a lot more better than this. I'm talking about.
I personally would say most of the current culture we need to get rid of,
Okay.
because the old culture in how we dress, how we conducted our business, how we approached and handled our business in a manner that was more acceptable, how female would not dress in the way that they dress now, how we would have females not making excuses to justify to be on the platform of the OnlyFans.
Because
We would not have guys who would be spending their money on rims and living in a shack.
validation.
And because who you validating? Who are they really validating is the vanilla people, as Baker would say it. But the vanilla people only care about the money you're spending to make them rich.
But how can we? Okay, I understand because you were talking with some sense, but we're talking to a generation that feels like you have to splurge big dollars to be the man. You have to be considered accepted with all the women to be the man, or sleeping with more than half of them, and it's becoming a trend.
That's programming. And it shows
That's
you
programming.
how and that shows you how weak minded those individuals are. Because if a person can convince you just through the TV, radio, music videos, or just out in public, or just a conversation to the point where it's not productive but is destructive, then you weak minded. And the lie in believing that you are not is the problem, because truth is not in them.
Well, let me bring this up too as well. Now, everything you said is valid, but let's be real.
Yeah.
I'm not downplaying because you had great points. But when a young man,
Mm-hmm.
or even in his 30s or older 20s,
Mm-hmm.
is seeking or chasing after, or whatever words, I'm not using those words verbatim, or like,
Mm-hmm.
to find a partner, and it seems like the partner that he wants, or the partner that surrounds, I mean, the women that he is constantly being shown,
Mm-hmm.
always wants that type of person. And I'm not talking about grounded with morals. I'm talking about like the validation with having high expensive money, and much more. At that
And
times can be toxic.
okay, you just said the magic word, want. People that you're describing have a problem distinguishing between need and want. And if you want to be even further, that's why Negroes or Nicodemus don't have money or don't have a pot to piss in and to throw it out of, because they more concerned about what they want versus what they need. And then when someone dies, and I know it's a little off script, but it's still related. When someone dies, they run it as to a GoFundMe page.
Yeah, not being
Now
prepared.
what? Now logically, that doesn't make sense, and it shows the twisted way of thinking. It does. The amount of effort to do what's wrong, if they would have done what's right, they would our community would be 30 times ahead of what is expected. Minimum. But we chose by choice, because if we want to go also on the spiritual side, we have a choice to do right or do wrong, go left or go right, or keep straight. We choose in our culture to do what's wrong, justify it, yell and complain about it, want to play the victim, and yet and still we don't see that all we doing is looking like a fool.
I can definitely see that. But I want to go ahead and add this as well, because what if the trend is like, I don't want no guy like that who works a 9 to 5, because I'm seeing more of a trend. I'm not speaking on the man now. It's like more of a trend you see in music, in movies, and then even young girls, and even in adults seeking out the opposite of what we're talking about now. So it's like now you have to really have strength mentally and spiritually to find the partner you want, because now it's like majority, almost or a good chunk of this trend is saying otherwise. Like, I don't want no person with a 9 to 5. That's a simp. Or if he don't have no record, it seems a little bit too boring, kind of thing. That's the trend that's going out there. Because I love what you're saying.
Because, and you know why? Why that's a trend? And I keep saying it, it's because that individual is weak. They're weak and they're immature. They're selfish. But when they get old and realize the image, that cute shape, or that nice built of muscle or whatever for a guy, that stuff fades away. And when that fades away and goes away, then the individual's gonna be wanting someone that they kicked to the side years ago, and the one that kicked to the side years ago is the one that's doing better and look better
and moved on.
So it still shows the immaturity, the ignorance, and the stupidity of the individual. I said it before, 85% people are followers. So why would anyone want to accept a sorry individual who has no true goals, no true ambition? They talk about it, but they are not about handling their business. This is the problem. People pay attention to more of what this person is saying and not what the person is doing. And they want things that look flashy, that look good, that appears to have some value, but has no value, has nothing that you can benefit, and it is not an asset.
Now, before we go even further on this, I'm gonna say this. What if the person changes? I'm gonna play clips to this. Hold your thought. What if everything seems all good, but as soon as the wedding bells and all that stuff is over, as my grandma say, the honeymoon stage phase is on, the marriage really kicks in, and they really find out who that person is, and now the man feels, or through culture or through family traditions taught, feels like he needs to stick it out and tolerate any disrespect towards him to showcase that he can sustain a marriage. Now, before we say anything after that, let me play this clip, because I know you got some words to say about that.
You want to lose a man's heart, disrespect him. Now, the Bible says women respect their men. I want you to understand that respect deals with your home life. It deals with how you treat him at home, how you talk to him, how you respond to him, whether or not you listen, whether or not you allow his voice to have authority. You talked about submission earlier, Precious, and how beautiful that is. How important is submission to a man when it comes to respect? Because I believe for a man, respect and submission are like, they're almost synonymous.
Go ahead and give your point of view.
No, she's absolutely correct. She's absolutely correct. You know, it's a two-part to a relationship. A woman has to submit, and submitting is not doing everything what the man says and man does, and that's what most men need to understand, because when they take that, they're acting in the same format as Jim Jones. They twisting the word. They twisting the words of what God is saying for their own selfish reason. So now men are being selfish when they do it in that manner. But respect at home, a man should always have a place of peace, and that should be at home.
And I'm big on that word of peace.
And because we already get beat up, get our butts kicked, talked about, roughed up when we outside the home to provide what's inside the home and for the home. So when a man comes home, a woman being humble is more of let him speak, let him sometimes vent. Women always like to vent, always talk about their issues, their problems. But as soon as us men say anything about what we are dealing with that may be in relation to females, females get defensive. And when they get defensive, then it becomes a whole new it's me mentality. And then that's disrespecting the man because the man has feelings too. But he is not allowed to express it. So then now, man, all he's doing is suppressing everything until he blows up. And then what does the woman do? Oh, you crazy. Oh, something is wrong with you.
And
See,
you know
it
what?
doesn't work that way.
Pause right there because that's one of the key things I wanted to bring up, and I think that's happening in a lot of black marriages. Is like we are taught over and over again, men don't cry, or like
I
pretty
was
much
taught
just
that.
yep, and pretty much just pray about it, don't say anything. And what happens over time is this man.
Can I stop you on that point?
Go ahead.
That I learned something. At my age now, I learned it late, but I learned. When I was taught men didn't cry 50 years because I was taught that. Until someone came to me, my own mother in law, and some other individual. What happened? And if we look at it in scripturally wise, what happened with Jesus? What is one thing that we've always been taught if you are believing in Christ? Jesus wept.
Wept.
So if Jesus cried, it's okay for us to cry. And he was all powerful.
That shows how we kind of twist that message into our own modern philosophy and thought or tradition.
Exactly. Because we don't think. We want people to think for us. And some people don't want to think at all, completely.
You know what?
And they just want to be followed.
I want to go ahead and say this. I feel like, not just I feel, I honestly believe that if we change that narrative and men could open up more and communicate with their partners and family, I feel like a lot more domestic or any kind of violence or any kind of like raging of violence from African American men, I can't speak for other races, would drop tremendously. Because one thing I heard, and comes from like either family or even people who have worked in the prison, is like something strange happens when you allow an inmate to speak. And when I'm saying that is because they have all the anger and things built up inside, just how we were taught. And I never will forget one of my friends that said like he looked at him completely different because when he got through pretty much expressing himself, and he just said after that like I just want the opportunity to speak.
That's it.
Oh,
That's it. That is what a lot of us men want. You just want to speak. That's all we desire. Whether if is what we're saying is valid or not valid, it doesn't. That's not the important thing. The important thing is to allow us to speak. Let us speak our mind because women speak their mind with no problem. Women want us to allow them to speak their mind with no problems. But the thing about it is how it's okay for one side, but it's not okay for the other.
it's
And
not.
then when men hold that in and become angry and respond in a
Now you
negative
about to
way,
become a criminal.
then you turn around and you say something negative about him, but
And he
then
snaps.
you actually could have prevented that, but you chose not to because you chose to be completely selfish and only thinking about yourself and what you want. And it goes back to what you and I have always talked about. People are selfish in a negative way so much than being selfish in a good way.
Whew. That's a mouthful right there. Now I'm gonna hit something else too, especially for our black man that wants to raise a family. Is be careful who you tell your business to, because it may ruin the image and relationship of those close to you. So I'm gonna roll this clip to you and kind of explain a little bit more what I'm talking about. I know it hit a little
Okay.
riddle, but watch this.
Everything is great. Maybe initially she's giving her family good reviews on this man that she likes and wants to be with. Okay, cool. As time goes on, they get into an official relationship. Then what happens is people have a tendency now to, when things are good, they're kind of in their own bubble with their partner, not really making any noise about it. They're just happy. They're enjoying the relationship, right? But whenever something goes wrong, they're running to family and friends to tell them or get advice and insight on this bad issue. Over time, what then happens is the family starts to develop a negative perspective because all they ever hear is the negative. And they don't really get to hear the positive. Woman meets man.
I concur with that. In most cases, and I'm not gonna just stick to and say all women do that, but there are men that do that as well. Okay, so that's be equal across the board. Keep people out of your business and in your relationship. That's the biggest thing.
You said a mouthful
And
there.
and when you do that, anything and everything that needs to be in your relationship is either a pastor, counselor, or and God. Those are the three things that need to be in your relationship. Because why would you go to a person that's been divorced once, twice, and three times asking them for advice? Or go to an individual that's never been married,
Said
that's never
3
been through
times.
anything, and you're asking them for advice? Why not go to Big Mama, Pawpaw, Grandma, who's been together for 50 plus years, and they can tell you the trials and tribulations, how to navigate the situation and
Right.
let you know, being honest, letting you know if it's him or if it's her or if it's both of y'all being a fool.
That makes a lot of sense. Because it makes no sense to like try to follow or take advice from someone that's constantly being single, divorced, and then in any kind of chaotic kind of relationships.
Exactly. That is my personal opinion, because even now, even now, when in my marriage, I had to make sure my mother stayed out of my business, because you have parents, and let's be real, you have some parents that is downright
Just want the best for
controlling,
you.
downright nosy, downright just want don't have they have their own personal demons and issues that they running from. So to run from them, they try to get into your life, your business, your situation, and create nothing but a toxic environment for you where you're not going to have any peace.
Probably
Keep
because they want you to have the
people
same thing
out
they have.
of your business and be mature enough to discuss what the problem is and stop using your emotions during the discussion, because using too much emotions causes more toxic, more chaos, and nobody is listening and no one will listen.
That's well said. Really well said. And we need to break this trend of just being so used to like accepting toxicity, and then, like you said earlier, keep them out of your. Because, like I was also mentioning earlier, they may want you to have the same toxic thing they want. They may see you having being happy in your relationship and be like, why the hell are they so happy all the time? Why are they laughing and smiling much more?
Well, you know the best thing to do, and I believe this cold-heartedly. You and I have spoken about it. We talked about it in some ways. But I believe once a person comes together in marriage, right?
Right.
You should always move away from family.
Oh yeah.
If it's over 400 or 500 miles, you move away from them. Matter of fact, you move into a different state.
Damn, Jesse, he said just leave. Just leave.
No,
Oh,
but the reason why I'm saying it,
I
and,
know,
and
I'm
I know a
messing with
lot
you.
of people saying it's crazy. The reason why I'm saying it is because one, these folks are not going to come and just knock on your door all of a sudden without making themselves known.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Two, they can, when you do that, there's a disconnect between they might call and ask what's going on, but there's still a disconnect where they can't physically come over, be in somebody's face, and create and add more situation and increasing that toxicity
We
in
call
their
that being
relationship.
nosy.
Right. You cutting all of that out. Now it's forcing the relationship to either do two things because you disconnected from the family. You either get on the pot and shit or you get off.
What if
And
they don't
that
want
is
to smell their own
between
shit?
and that is between those that are in that relation, the male and the female. It is their decision. They have to live with their decision. And this is what should, in my opinion, that needs to be done and ought to be done.
You know, I ain't gonna let that slide. But what if they don't want to smell their own shit? I know that's like a alley for you.
Then if they don't want to get on the pot and shit, then you part your ways like Moses did with the Red Sea. You go your way, I go my way, but you don't have any animosity
Ooh, that's the right there.
because not everything is the other person's fault.
Right.
50% or 45% is your fault because you saw what you wanted to see and ignored what
You needed to see.
you needed to see, or you saw it, but you just chose to ignore it.
Ignored it.
So it cannot all be the other person's fault.
Right. Ooh-wee. All right. So with all that and said and much more, what are some ways that we can actually improve and make this better? Because we talked about like how there needs to be clear communication. You need to pretty much keep other people out your business, and of course, be open to listen and allow each partner to speak and build your own family. And all these and much more is combined to what helps and strengthen a good, healthy relationship. But what's some other things we can tell them to kind of reverse this or kind of heal it or try to get things back on track because it's all hell out here. It's like a damn roller coaster out here.
First of all, know yourself. I'm gonna always say that. If you don't know yourself, then you walking around in darkness with your eyes closed. Now, does that make any sense?
You better hit a brick wall. Hit that brick wall pretty hard.
Your eyes is closed, but you're walking in dark. You're walking in darkness with your eyes closed. That doesn't make any sense. So know yourself. Know who you really are, not what someone is making out you out to be, not something that's not part of your nature, but also to know yourself where you know there's some things you need to work on, some things you need to change, mature, grow.
Okay, so I'm kind of through a little not a detour, but I'm gonna, you gonna see why I did it. But what if a person says, "Well, I changed for the better of us," or "I changed myself," or I just accepted what he or she wanted because I wanted this to be better."
You
What's the problem?
sold yourself to please another person, not knowing yourself, not being happy of who you are and what you are. And that's why there are so many individuals that have so many mental issues when someone leaves them because they have this anxiety separation disorder, as what man calls it. But in scripturally, if you look at it, it is more that you have no relationship with God. Because if you had a relationship with God, deep relationship, then guess what? What would happen is simple. You have more confidence. You know God loves you, no matter who
Right.
says what, and no matter what somebody might think. You walk around tall and proud and happy. And the other thing is, why running to someone rather than waiting till that right person come to you?
Ooh, that's deep. Because, and you did hit on something very big too. Because like some people, or a good chunk of people, like once that other partner leaves, they can become all dysfunctional. They don't know how to stand. It's like they made that person their god.
Right.
On purpose.
So you love yourself, you have your relationship with God, and then the right person who sees that, who can feel that spirit inside you. And a lot of people don't believe that, but there's an energy, a spirit inside you where people can be attracted to, because how you conduct yourself and how you act and what you do and your mentality gives off a vibe, a spirit, and what it gives off is what you receive back. So if you're a nasty ass person who's mean and think evil things and things of that nature, then you're gonna pick up somebody that's the same way or they're worse. So it's a reflection of yourself. And if you want to go biblically, when you're married, it also shows when you're in a marriage, it's a reflection of your relationship with God, because God does speak about the brideman and the bride and the groomsman, the husband and the wife. If you're stubborn with your wife and you're stubborn with your husband, and God is trying to tell you something, you're going to be stubborn with him. It's a reflection.
You literally said to men and women, take accountability for who you pretty much attracted.
Exactly.
In so many ways.
Exactly. Carry yourself in a manner that has dignity, that's respect. And those individuals who walk in dignity and respect are the ones that you will attract. The ones that are trash will be the ones that won't come up to you, won't like you, and ain't gonna want to deal with you.
Because you basically reflecting them off, like, to get out of.
Because you have a higher standard.
Right. They may think something wrong with you, but you like, I am right where I need to be.
When actually, it's something wrong with them.
And that right there is a mouthful within itself. Having the confidence and belief and believing in yourself to be patient enough that everything will line up and you'll find the right partner that is rightfully yours.
And it's all about being patient when it happens.
Well said, well said. I think we pretty much hit on good points to kind of help him out until Baker comes back from clapping or whatever hole or somebody's business he done dug himself in. But, I got to mess with you just for a little bit. I've done some research, and I think I found your brother.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
You trying to get me back.
Oh, no. You going to get a good laugh at this one, too, because you're going to have no choice but to laugh. But I found your brother from another mother. As soon as you see the picture, you're going to be start laughing.
Okay, we're going to... I know you trying to get me back. Oh,
but you're going to enjoy this one, though, too. Here we go. Here your brother. Your long lost brother.
You stupid, you ignorant, or you just plain old deaf?
Yes, sir. Actually, he is deaf.
Oh, thank you. Now drop down, give me 25 more for speaking out of line.
One, sir.
I'm sorry, Mr. Handicapped Man. I didn't mean to offend you. Do you speak sign language? Can you read lip? Let me break it down. If you don't answer me when I speak to you, I'm gonna put my foot in your ass. Is that clear, dummy? Hold on, guys. Wait. Welcome to my party. You know you're out of uniform there, Mr. Fonzarelli.
Yeah, but I like this look better, General.
What's your name, girly mouth?
Girly.
Well,
Cadet Alex Stone, sir. Yes, sir. Hey ho, sir.
Well, I'm glad to see you got a sense of humor. So do I.
I told you, man. I've been doing some digging and research, and I found your brother.
Well, hey, that is the way it needs to be in the military for real. And that's the way it needs to be in the schools for real, because these kids are out of control. And the parents are out of control and not teaching it and not giving them any structure and discipline. I totally agree. That needs to be in the school.
Oh man, I knew you gonna get a laugh at that. I knew you was. Just look at him. Same present. Just look.
There you go. How in the hell did you get my picture when I was in service? You had to do some serious digging to get that picture.
I knew you gonna get a laugh at this.
Oh man.
Class. I wish Baker was here. He would got a whole good laugh at that.
Oh man.
But you enjoyed it. I said,
That was some time ago, man. Wearing them blues. Man.
Oh man. He was like, what the hell? I know he did not yet.
And you know the funny part about that video?
What?
I had to chew people out like that when I was in. Because of some of the dumb crap that they would do. I had to really chew them out.
Oh man. I knew as soon as I played that video, you gonna instantly start laughing. You gonna be like,
Man.
shit.
Oh man, yeah, that hit home, man. It brought back memories when I had to chew a lot of people out, man.
Oh, man.
I mean, man, that brought back some memories. Man, I'm gonna tell you real quick. I know you're close to the end. Man, I remember, man, I had an airman when I was stationed in Louisiana at Shreveport, at Barstow Air Force Base. Man, I had an airman come in, and I was located in a different place, and I was an instructor for the pilots and everything. And so, man, I get a phone call, and they was like, "Hey, your airman that you're supervising is late for work." So I'm like, late? I said, okay. How many? This the first time? I'm trying to get in detail. No, this like the third or fourth time.
Oh shit!
So I'm like, y'all just now telling me this? I was like, okay. Man, I went in my vehicle, went to the door. I knocked on the door. I'm beating on there. Dude, he opens up the door, rubbing his eye. He was in the bed. Man, that video is nothing compared to what I was in there saying and doing. Brother, when I went in there, the room was messy.
Oh shit! I know you let him have it.
Sink was dirty.
Oh damn!
Clean clothes mixed with dirty clothes.
Oh hell!
I gave him 5 minutes. He better be in his dress blues in front of me in my office. He gets there. Clothes is all wrinkled.
Wrinkled. I knew you was.
I'm asking him, and this shows you what I'm saying. I asked him, I chewed him out, gave him paperwork, chewed him from A to Z, Z to A, and everything else. I asked him, who woke you up when you was in high school? Did you not use an alarm clock? My mommy woke me up all the time.
Oh damn!
When you was in what we call tech school, you learn your job. Did you not use an alarm clock then? No. My roommate woke me up.
Oh hell!
What about basic training? No, the people in there woke me
up. Oh hell!
So this is the type of people what the hell I had to deal with. And it's gotten worse in speaking with people that are already currently active duty in regards to their mentality. Huh. Our military is not as strong as what people think because of the mentality of the people that are in there for the most part.
That's embarrassing.
And people in the military, for the most part, do not know how to separate and wash their own clothes. Something as simple as that.
They throwing the color clothes to white clothes. I'm dead.
That's just some extra FYI. And they spending money on unnecessary things. Just like recently, it was informed that there's individual, I'm not going to go in further detail specific. You have military members whose vehicles are being repossessed because they have family members living with them, getting them to live outside their means. So you have this type of stuff that's going on in the military, which also affects national security when stuff like this occurs.
Seem like they need the sergeant version to come out again, cuss their ass out.
Well, that and the fact that the parents are failing their own kids and not teaching them and not preparing them. They want to baby. They still want to baby the kids, and then the parents want to also live off the kids and the benefits of the kids when they can't, because there's nothing wrong with it.
Damn.
But that's just to give a little story about the new version of the new generation of the military.
Yeah, why they on there? Jesus. Oh man, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'm about to show Becky this because he's gonna get a laugh at this too, just like you did. But tell the people where they can find you at.
Man, you know you can always find me. Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, In the Trenches Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, wherever the podcast platform. I need you all to subscribe and like and comment and share all of that. But also too, check out inthetrenchespodcast.com, and it's THA, not THE, folks. Check it out. Get the hottest merchandise, hottest shirt that's out on the market right now. And I'm telling you, you're also going to be able to see home and bacon. We're going to be more real, more raw on that. We're going to hold back a little bit because, we've noticed,
Bacon ain't.
We noticed a lot of the females are kind of like, scared to come on because we hit them with the facts and the truth. You know what I mean?
We being nice, but we know damn well bacon ain't. Oh man, it's been another great episode. I hope you learned something. I do some damn pushes where you get cussed out from A to Z to A. But as always, come back and ready for another episode of Street Topics, because we keep this show going with topics that you are afraid of. What should I leave him with today? Your ass better learn how to wash your drawers. All right, catch y'all on the next one. Peace.